Hi guys, my name's Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about, she looks at me when I'm not looking. What does this mean? Okay, so sometimes it can mean something and sometimes it doesn't mean anything. And maybe sometimes it means that you've been looking over at them too much and then they look at back and they look at you because you keep on staring at them basically. Right? So because the only way you can know if someone's staring at you is if you start staring at them, right? So sometimes it could be just you and they could be over there thinking, why do they keep on looking over at me and stuff, right? So, but again, sometimes it can mean something. Sometimes it can mean that, oh yeah, they like you. But again, it's one of those things that you shouldn't really take too seriously because it could mean something else, okay? So, for example, in my own life, I remember there was a girl that I was sort of interested in when I was doing my A-levels, and sometimes I would look over at her and she would look over at me. And then one time she said to me, why do you keep on looking at me? Right? So I was like, oh, okay, maybe because I thought, oh, she was looking over at me as well. But it turns out it was probably just because I was staring at her and being a creep, right? That made her be like, why, made her stare back at me, basically, made her look at me. And then I had the reverse situation where someone who I wasn't interested in was looking at me and I wasn't interested in them. And basically the story that happened there was, it was when I was at university and this guy was interested in me and he asked me out and I basically said no. I tried as kindly as I possibly could. And from then on he would always stare at me in class and I would look at him because I had like a little tally in the back of my book as to how many times he would look over at me, just as like a little fun game I would do with just with myself and my friend my other friend as well, my friend who my best friend at uni really, and it was just funny to to do that. And he came over to me one day and he was like, oh, I can see you keep on looking at me. And I said to him, well, I keep on looking at you because you keep on staring at me. And I noticed that you keep on staring at me. And yeah, that's why I'm staring at you. I'm not staring at you. I'm looking to see if you're looking at me. Basically, that's the way that I think I worded it. So yeah, it was just like one of those situations where, he was just interested in me. And that's why he kept on staring at me. And even though he thought I was staring at him, it wasn't quite what was actually going on. So as you can see, someone might be looking at you, but it might not actually be for the reasons that you wanted to, right? And then there's another experience that I had where I was interested in a girl at a workplace. And she was staring over at me, and it did turn out that she was actually interested in me. And I was a little bit interested in her, but not enough to actually do something about it. I thought she was kind of cute, but she had a little bit of different... There were some parts of her personality that I didn't really like. Like, I was attracted, but there were parts of her that I was, parts of her personality, like the way that she, I guess you could say she was a tiny bit of a bully, but not really enough of a bully to be called a bully. A little bit passive-aggressive, a little bit cold, I guess you could say. And that's what made me not want to really pursue her and date her. But it did turn out she was staring at me, and the reason why she did was because she was interested. So sometimes it can mean that, sometimes it doesn't. So you got to be very careful. So if you haven't dated this girl and you haven't already asked them out, then you probably should, because then you'll know, right? You'll know then where you stand, basically. Now that's the best way to tell if a woman is interested in you, is to actually ask them out, because if they like you, they'll say yes, and if they don't, they'll say no thank you, or they will come up with an excuse not to see you, right? So they may be like, oh yeah, I'd love to hang out with you, and then they'll flake on you, or you'll just never hear from them again, and it just won't work out. You'll never get them on a date, basically. But if that girl likes you, she will show up to that date. So if this is someone like an ex or someone that has already rejected you, then just ignore it, right? Because they might be doing what I did, which was, they're looking at you to see if you're looking at them, right? Because, I don't know, maybe it annoys them, because that's how I felt. Like, I got really annoyed with that guy that kept on staring at me, because it was just really distracting to just feel this pair of eyes on me all the time. right? Especially when you're a student and you're trying to, you know, do what you need to do when you're at uni. You know, you need to, you know, do your studying, do your coursework, do the projects that need to be done. So it's really distracting when someone in your class, and because at uni, this class was like my entire class. So what I mean by that is that I didn't have other classes with different people. It was just this one group of us, this one bunch of people throughout the whole couple of years that I was at university. So it was very distracting to have someone really, really into me when I wasn't into them, and I can't avoid them, basically. Like, because sometimes some of the lessons that we would have would be like all day, right? So, you know, it was just really frustrating. So it made it a little bit more funny if I could turn it into a game, and that's why me and my friend had a tally about how many times he would be staring and looking over at me. So ignore it if it's someone that has rejected you, because again, they might be doing what I did. You know, might have that mindset of like, oh, I wonder why he keeps on staring at me, or I wish he would. I'm just looking to see if he's still staring at me. So, because what's important is if let's say it's someone let's say it's someone who has rejected you, if she regrets it, you'll hear about it eventually. She'll start coming up to you more, start talking to you more. She may even say that she's sorry, you know, about that. You know, she may even say that she's changed her mind. So, you know, you never know. So, but that's why you should ignore it. Don't try and do more because you feel like she has a crush on you because she keeps on staring at you, because you don't know that for sure. So if this is someone that you're at work with or someone that you're at school with, then focus on your work and your studying, not her. You know, just ignore it, right? Because again, if it's someone who's rejected you, then, you know, there's not really much you can do. It's all in their court now. The ball's in their court. You've asked them out or whatever. You said that you're interested. They've told you no. There's not really much you can do there. It's all down now to her. Okay, but if it's not, and it's someone that you haven't asked out before, then ask them out, and then you'll know. And then you will know if they like you back. But if it, you know, just focus on your work and not them if it is someone who has rejected you. Okay. So another thing that you can do that can help the situation is, you know, keep on getting better. So keep on getting more proficient at your work or whatever situation you know them in. Become more knowledgeable, you know, start filling in your knowledge gaps about dating and relationships, and become more physically fit as well, because maybe, you know, if you start doing stuff like that, start, you know, taking care of your body, making sure that you're nice and well, nicely groomed, you know, those kinds of things, then maybe you can actually change her mind about you if it is a woman that's already rejected you, right? And maybe she will become more attracted to you in the future. But usually if someone's rejected you, you know, that's pretty much pretty concrete. It's very difficult for someone to change their mind if they've already got that in their head about you and they don't like you in that way. So definitely move on if you have been already rejected by this person, and start dating other women, and, you know, keep an eye on your shape, your physical shape, and you know, start doing things that are really good for your body and good for your mind as well, and get better at flirting, dating, you know, learn all that kind of information, and that will definitely help you. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.